f of x equals x squared plus x minus 6 over x plus 3. It has a discontinuity point where? Okay, we know the value is continuous. This value here is continuous on the interval of x from here to here when there is no holes on the graph. That means the graph, all the domain values, they can give us values for y. But if I have a number that I cannot use it in the domain, in this case, I will not find its value on y. So here now, where for this, when you graph this function, you will find a discontinuity when x equals -3. Why? Because now the domain can be all real numbers except the numbers that will make the denominator 0. So that means the domain now will be all real numbers minus what? What number that will make the denominator 0? -3. So -3 now, when it makes the denominator, it makes the denominator what? 0. So that means at this point, when x is -3, at this point, this function will have discontinuity. And this -3 cannot be in the domain. Good. So that means it is excluded from the domain because the function will not be continuous at this point. Okay. When x is -3, so when I choose now the points, x here is -3 and here x is -3. So that means either it is this choice or this choice. That means these choices now, I exclude them because x is not -3. Good. Now how can I find y? To find the y, just substitute -3 here in the equation to find y. So that means f of x now, f of x, it equals x squared. X squared is what? Is 3. So -3 what? -3 squared. Minus what? -3 minus 6, right? Over here, it's going to be -3 plus 3. What will you find here? When you substitute here, it's going to be 9 minus 9. So it's going to be numerator 0 and denominator what? 0. So undefined. So in this case, by the way, this point we're going to study it when we study also limits, by the way. At this case, we find the limit. That means we try to simplify this quotient in order to make this discontinuity, to remove the discontinuity. That means to redefine the function by removing this discontinuity. Okay, how can we do it now? In this case, we're going to factorize the numerator. So that means f of x equals x squared plus x minus 6 here over x plus 3. I write it f of x, but this one here, I'll factorize it. How can I factorize x squared plus x minus 3? Into two brackets, x here and x here. Now I think of two numbers. When I multiply them, I get -6, and when I add them, I get +1. What numbers that? Two numbers, when I multiply them, I get -6, and I add them, I get -1. They are -3 and +2. If you multiply +2 and -3, will you get -6? Yes. But when you add +2 and -3, will you get 1? No, you'll get -1. So that means in this case, you change. How you change? You change the signs. So that means here you change it +3 and here -2. Multiply now -2 times 3, it will give you -6. And when you add them now, -2 and +3, you will get +1, which is in there. Now here x plus what? +3. You can now cancel x plus 3 and x plus 3. So that means f of x will become what? Will become x minus 2. And what is x? We said what is x? X is at the point of discontinuity, x is what? X is -3. Now plug here -3. -3 minus 2 is going to be -5. And -5, when you find it, it is the value of f of x. That is the value of y. So the value of y is -5 and the value of x is -3. So this is now the point of discontinuity. I choose it.